What's up, man?
Hey, what's good, man?
Nothing, nothing.
The retailers have the day today, man.
No, it's about to retrace. Daily
Yes.
SR, man. I'm not leaving.
Now talking about gold and US
Yeah,
30
yeah. It'll retrace.
retailers. But CPI normally does not, because CPI follows inflation really. And inflation to me is heavier than yeah, but in my experience, CPI doesn't really it doesn't always retrace. So I don't see, well, in my experience, CPI does not really retrace, or if it
Yeah,
retraces like a little bit, but NFP drops heavy and then retraces. So if you find something hasn't retraced before New York session or during New York session, more than likely it's going to keep going in that direction. But anyway, let me start this. All right, good morning, guys. Today is Thursday, October 12th. So as usual, going over analysis for US 30, gold and EU. So I'm not in any trades as of yet. All the setups that I've been even sending in the group, a bunch of them have been invalidated. So US 30 daily bias is bullish. So it doesn't mean that we are buying randomly. So remember, right? You get your daily bias and then you go down to lower timeframes and find an entry. Gold daily bias is bullish as well. EU daily bias is bullish as well. The US dollar daily bias is bearish. Now, given what's going on in the world, I think what's currently going on is more what is it called? Fundamentals, like economic fundamentals. I still see these people manipulating the hell out of the US dollar. I wouldn't be surprised if the US dollar goes back to 107 and keeps pumping up. So I told you guys, right? There's all this new other countries, or not new, these other countries that are trying to establish a new world order. And there's no way the US would let that happen. I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime or in our kids' lifetime. So maybe in like 300 or 400 years, but the US dollar will keep being heavily manipulated. That is uh that I'm pretty sure of. Also, right? Remember, always journal. So make sure you're journaling what's happening during some of this heavy news. So you can see here in this one that I posted before CPI, inflation increases are negative for stocks, so PPI and CPI, and positive for the US dollar. So what happened today? Today, if you go to the news, CPI inflation actually went up. So what happened once it increased? The dollar pumped up, and US 30 is dipping. Gold is dipping as well. But normally you would expect, if inflation goes up, gold to also go up. So remember, gold is not always correlated with the US dollar, because if you think about it, gold by itself is a safe haven asset. And during times of uncertainty, so war, inflation, gold should ideally push up. But right now you can see gold is again dropping. So this is why I always make sure you journal. If you haven't started journaling, journal what happened during CPI today. So for me, if you ask me my experience with CPI, I'll just go to my journal and look at this. And also, like what I was just talking to Audrey about a few minutes ago, CPI results rarely retrace. So you see, like NFP will have a move, whether it's down and then retrace before New York session, retrace to pre-NFP levels. But for me, in my experience, my personal experience for the last 3 years, yes, there are times CPI has had some retracement, but in most cases, CPI goes in one direction. If it does not retrace before New York and a little bit after New York, it will keep moving to that direction. Because also, if you think about it, as much as NFP looks like a heavy move, CPI is a heavier move, or economically, CPI is a heavier move, because CPI is consumer price index. That is a measure of inflation. NFP is non-farm payrolls. So NFP is specific to the United States. As much as also CPI is specific to the United States, the inflationary measure you're also comparing, right? Inflation is ideally a worldwide thing. So it has ripple effects across the globe. But NFP, whatever the numbers of NFP for US are, Canada might have a better NFP. Or South Africa, I don't know, Brazil might have a better NFP. So NFP doesn't have a lot of ripple effects outside the United States, but inflation of the United States has a bigger impact across the globe because, right, the US dollar, a lot of debt, when you borrow money or when countries borrow money from the World Bank, the IMF, they're given that money in US dollars. They're not given in their country's currency. Anyway, to start off, so we just covered our daily biases. So here I was looking, so I'm still bullish on US 30. I don't care if it keeps dropping. All of these are buy zones. I have another, right, double SAR right here. I have another, so I don't care if US 30 keeps dropping. So this is a possible trade that I was looking at, possible test and rejection. So here you can see this was the test candle. And this is the key thing about waiting for 2 candle closures. So here I was waiting for the rejection candle, but guess what? The rejection candle, it doesn't, unless in the next 17 minutes they pump US 30 all the way up, this trade will be invalidated. Okay, gold. This was a possible, same thing, possible test and rejection on the hourly time frame. So that was the test candle. Look at what the rejection candle is doing. They're pushing gold all the way down. So if in the next 16 minutes, gold closes below this double SAR, I'm not looking for that trade. Same thing about EU here. This may have been a test and rejection entry. The candle is closing below, the candle is closing below, but it doesn't mean that I don't have any buy. All of this right here, this is another double SAR. So the thing I love about the SAR, it's going to make you patient. For you to fail with the SAR, it's either you're over leveraging or you're not waiting for like 2 candle closures, or you are probably not understanding how the SAR strategy works. So here I can, right, there is no reason anybody should have taken as much as, even though you had a buy bias like me, there's no buy that validated. Even if we go here on the 15-minute time frame for US 30, this was another one, possible test and rejection. The test candle validated, the rejection candle closed below the double SAR, invalid. So we wait for the next zone. Here we have another. So currently where US 30 is, so I'll go ahead and mark this up. This is a possible test and rejection. So I go ahead and do that. So when some of this, I like when some of these moves happen to invalidate, because that shows you the importance of patience. So like for me right now, I'm at 0. I didn't take any trades for the day, and I sat on my hands and I'm waiting for that perfect, not perfect, but for the trades to be validated. So here I'll go ahead and do possible test and rejection. And then I'll wait to see what price does. So if this 15-minute candle closes above this zone, that will be my test candle. Then I have to wait for another 15 minutes. If the next 15-minute candle closes below this zone, guess what? Trade invalidated. If this current 15-minute candle closes below this zone, guess what? Trade like the way it just did, trade invalidated. So right now, the only trade I can possibly get from here is now a break and continuation, because currently price started off or opened up below my zone. So I'll wait for this 15-minute candle. So at this point, I'll change this from test and rejection, because price opened from below, and change this to break and continuation. So possible break and continuation. And then I know to tell myself to look at this trade in the next 30 minutes. So that's the 15-minute time frame. Then I'll go to the 30-minute time frame. What's going on in the 30-minute time frame here? This is the 15-minute time frame. So 30-minute, there is nothing on the 30-minute time frame. Let me see, 72, 58, 60. See, this might be a double. Let me see what this is. The distance between these two SARs is 15 pips. Okay, so this is a double SAR because it's not more than 20 pips for US 30. So on the 30-minute time frame, this right here is a double SAR. So this is a possible. So here we have 2 possible entries. But for this trade, I'm not, if I put 2 trades, it will be too much. For this trade, but you can see this is a test and rejection. So for this break and continuation is on the 15-minute time frame. But here overall on the 30-minute time frame, we have a double SCR. So what's forming on the 30-minute is a possible test and rejection. But for us to take that trade, you'd have to wait for this 30-minute candle to close in the next 13 minutes and then wait for the next 30-minute candle. So which is to say, for you to get an entry of this trade, you have to wait about 45 minutes. So at this point, I already know for me, for US 30, there's nothing to take as of this point. Okay, then I move on to gold. Gold did the same thing. So here, remember, I sent this trade out and I said, do not, so this was a valid, so let me replay this and I sent it to the Discord. So this here, this is a 15-minute entry. For this one, I had to zoom a little bit far. Okay, so this is 2 SARs right here. So this zone had a double SAR on the 15-minute time frame. So I went and put in this and I said this is a possible test and rejection. So the test candle worked out. The rejection candle, perfect, rejected across. And here for the entry, and I went ahead and said in the Discord here, the distance between your entry and the SCRs you're trading was like 150, 170, or what is that, 10, 16 pips away. So your stop loss is 30 pips. So here your SCRs are 50% of your 50% from your entry. So not too big of a red flag. It's better than having it 70%. But the big red flag for this, post CPI, New York open was coming in. So by the time this candle was closing, it was 8:45. So I went ahead and told you guys here, validated, but entry is about 70% from the SARs. This is a red flag. Wait for price to retrace to the SARs and preferably wait after New York session. So for me, previously, because I've also gotten burnt using SARs by hopping in before New York open, just wanting to capitalize on a move. And then I ended up getting burnt. So what would have happened here, if you chose to take the risk, look at that, right? Getting stopped out. And right now, guess what? Price is coming down to other areas or other zones down here. This right here is also a 15, I think this is a 15-minute. No, this is a, yeah, this is also a 15-minute double SAR zone, the one below. Actually, it's a triple by SAR. So you'd have your test candle here and then your rejection candle. Your rejection candle closed below that zone. So that trade also invalidated. So here, and keep in mind, you have to mark, you guys have to do this homework and mark the zones up beforehand, because that's what I do. So here, this is another one, double SAR zone on the 15-minute time frame. The distance in this one is about 10 pips. That's fine. So here on the 15-minute, I know we are possibly getting a test and rejection, but the candles, where the candles are closing, it's literally, let me see, I have to draw this again. So make sure when you're drawing it, you don't have too much margin of error. So here, when I come here on gold, yes, this is another possible test and rejection that's coming in right here, but we have to wait for this 15-minute candle to close in the next 15 minutes. So this is that, this is that. Perfect. So right now is when you should start thinking, where would your stop loss be? Where would your entry be? So for me, I would rather this 15-minute candle to close somewhere here. But if this 15-minute candle closes anywhere below it's open, the open of the candle, that trade will be invalidated, because remember, you need both candles, depending on what direction you're trading, you need both candles to close above or below. So here, I know I have to wait for another 9 minutes. If this candle closes like here, I'm not going to take that trade. Guess what? I'll wait for this trade here. So that's another rule I have. You guys saw, like yesterday, I bought like some journaling software. So I know I normally tell you guys you can either take the risk if the entry is far away from the SARs, or you can enter in with like half the lot size, or you can wait for a retracement. For me, guess what? I will always wait for that retracement. If my entry is like 70%, sometimes even 50% away from my SARs, I will always wait for that retracement. I would rather lose a trade, or not lose. I would rather miss out on a trade, but know that if the trade had retraced, what is it? if the trade had retraced, I would have had a much safer entry, but I would rather miss out on a trade and then try and find strategies to either in future maybe extend my stop loss or something. But I don't really want to enter a trade, and then if the trade goes against me, I'll be like, okay, is there anything better I would have done? So the person who always waits for a retracement if price is overextended, and the trade comes back and the trade hits stop loss for them, the key thing, I think, as a trader, you ask yourself, is there anything better you could have done for that trade? If there isn't, I think you feel better about yourself. But let's say I take the risk if this candle closes here, and I know that my SARs are like 80%, or in this case 100% of my stop loss, and the trade comes and hits stop loss for me, and the trade goes back into profit, I would be disappointed at myself, because I would ask myself, hey, Michael, is there anything you could have done better? And I'm like, yeah, I could have waited for a retracement. So for me, I will always wait for that retracement going forward. So that is for gold. We have to wait 7 minutes. EU is still dropped. So EU is doing what CPI should do. This is what CPI should do. Ideally, CPI shouldn't have a retracement before New York and even during New York. CPI should keep going in the direction that the news was released. So other than that, the only trade I see us getting during this live session, and you can see what's happening with US 30. This is the key thing about that: patience. No need to hop in. It's better for you to miss out on a trade. So such days are the days that show you the importance of patience. Also, right, you don't have to be looking for buys for me, like me. You can be looking for sells. For me, it's just that I'm using that the daily bias, right? The daily SAR to find my bias. Also, I know yesterday, right, I showed you guys that one indicator that I previously had before I started this community. It's ideally a rejection indicator. So I'm having it. I mean, I've had it for a while, but I'm just having the buy and sell. So you see like how all of our indicators, you have the option of turning off the buys or turning off the sells instead of the buys and sells showing up at the same time. So that's just the little tweak I'm having changed. And then I'm having the time filter applied to this. So the key thing with this one, I just want us to use it in a sense that, so for example, for me, with like how I was doing with the EA, like literally just trading the trend until the direction changes. So up until yesterday, up until yesterday, I was bearish on gold, right? But there was this move up on gold. So, and I was talking to Audrey yesterday, and you know, we were talking about some of the things you can do to catch. And wait, I don't want to, what was I looking at? Give me 1 second. Was it on the 30-minute or 15-minute? It was on the 30. Wait, give me 1 second, right? Am I tripping? Okay, no, this is the same candle. Okay, so you see how it's coming back down. So we have 4 minutes for this. If this candle closes in that zone, again, test and rejection entry invalidated. So we have 4 minutes for that. So here, I can go over this real quick. So here, I was looking at, is there anything I could have used to show me that this trend was changing to the upside? I know we have the reversal indicator, which is what I use for most of my charts, but even the reversal indicator gave me the buy like 2 days ago. I mean, that's good still. And I think this was on Sunday or something. That was that gap up in the market. So reversal is good to show you a reversal in the market. But that other indicator I had, I would have wanted to see like a buy somewhere here on the daily. And you can see here, it gave a buy on Friday, actually. So it actually gave a buy on this candle. So I'm just having that changed so that you can turn off buys or sells depending on what you're looking at. And then for those of you who have access to the indicators, I'll just add that to your package. So you don't have to pay anything extra. So I told you guys, right? Every indicator I'll ever have, whether I end up having 10 indicators, for those of you who have access to the indicators, you'll have that for whatever cost you have. So you don't have to pay anything extra. So hope I have different programmers. So the programmer that works on my indicators is much faster, but for him, compared to the one who's working on my EA, the programmer who works on my indicators is only good at indicators. He really does not know how to code in EAs or in MQL4. I think that's what it's called. So that's the difference. So for him, I know it's pretty quick. Yeah, so in the next 3 minutes, right? Test and rejection, this is invalidated, will probably be invalidated at that point. So do not catch, right? Do not catch a falling knife. So this is, I'll go ahead and mark this up. So this is possible test and rejection. For what? For a buy. So keep in mind, if this 15-minute candle closes below 1873.75, that entry is invalid. But I like, right? I like if this 15-minute candle were to close like literally above that, guess what? My entry would be next to the SAR. So that is my perfect entry. I don't have to wait for a retracement. I don't have to go down to the 1 minute or nothing. So that would be my ideal entry. So you have to see. So anyway, we have 2 minutes, and keep in mind, right, that top SAR is this one, 1873.75. So for me to take this buy on gold, I need this candle to close. If I take this trade, so right now I'm looking at my trade manager so that I don't risk 6,000 again for my trade. So I will take this trade with a 0.75% risk. If it validates, 0.75% risk, 30 pips stop loss, 60 pips TP. Anyway, so we have a minute and a half. So nothing yet there. Perfect. And something. Okay. All right, 56 seconds. So right now is when you should start looking at what you have. So here, daily bias is bullish. This is a test and rejection entry. We just need in the next 44 minutes, 44 seconds for that to close above there. Remember, do not over leverage. If the trade hits stop loss, that is fine. If the trade hits TP, which I hope, that is fine as well. I don't want it to go too far up. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm in the trade there. So I'm in that trade. What the wait, auto trading is disabled. Okay, so what the, let's see. Give me one. I'm going to enter on my phone. Man, my auto trading is disabled. Let's see. Yo. Fudge. My auto trading is disabled. And watch it enter like 5 positions once it opens. Wait, give me a second. I will go on my phone and enter this trade. Man. I just had like a profit withdrawal from this account yesterday and okay, never mind. It's in the trade. On my phone, it's in the trade. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I'm in the same trade. Looking at my phone, I'm in that trade. It's just that my MT4 on my computer is frozen. All right, so anyway, let's move on from that. US 30, nothing as well here. So go ahead and take this off. But you can see where US 30 is headed as well, right? So on the 30-minute time frame, we have a double SAR that's right here. Double SAR that's right here. And that can be a possible test and rejection entry right there. But that's on the 30-minute. And that would have to be much later. So 15 minutes as well. All right. No, never mind. Let me restart this MT4 on my computer.
Oh, bro, did you say there was a test and rejection for gold?
Yeah, I marked it up. It's this one right here. So it's no longer possible, but it's test and rejection.
Oh,
So that's a trade I'm in right now for gold.
on the 15-minute, right?
Whatever time frame this is. Yeah, 15-minute. Wait. I'm trying to see. Anyway, 30-minute. Delete this. Also, give me one second. I'm also trying to restart my MT4 on my computer. So make sure for gold, 30 pips stop loss, 60 pips TP. If the trade comes back in profit and it's up 30 pips, you go ahead and set break even. I'm trying to see this US 31. There was a zone here. Okay. Never mind. So that's all right. That's my programmer. Man, I hate when my MT4s freeze. Sounds good. Right. I want to redraw this US 30 entries. All right, so that is a definite 30-minute entry, the 30-minute time frame. All right, so that's a 30-minute. So this is a possible test and rejection. All right, so the test candle has not validated and neither has, so if the test candle hasn't validated, the rejection candle hasn't validated as well. Trying to figure out why I had drawn two zones. So I guess it was only one zone. Okay, that's fine. All right, so let's go back to gold. All right, so gold is in profit. So I am up. Come on. I am up $800. So once you're 30 pips in profit, set break even. So for this trade, so once you reach here, this point, 1876.9, go ahead and set break even for your gold trade. So again, for me, people ask, right? Sometimes people ask, when do you go down to the 1 minute? When do you go down to the 5 minute? If a trade, if my entry is literally my top SAR was right here. If the entry, right, I can enter just being next to that SAR, that is my A+ setup, whether that's on the 4 hour, whether that's on the 1 hour, whether that's on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, that right there, what you guys are seeing here, that is my A+ setup. The issue comes in when that entry is far away from the SARs you're trading. That right there, because that gives possibility of being manipulated and such things. So this right here, what you're just seeing, that was or that is what I would consider my A+ setup, or an A+ setup to me. All right, so nothing on US 30. So EU here, what do we have on EU? The thing with EU, it just has too many SARs. I hate having too many SARs on the screen. Let me see what this guy's saying. All right, so like for me, I risked $1,500, so I'm up $1,100. So I know when it gets to 15, because 0.75 is $1,500 of a 0.75% of a 200K is $1,500. So I know when I'm $1,500 in profit, I'll go ahead and set break even for that trade. And keep in mind, for me, that's just, I do break even at a 1:1. You can take profit along the way. So you don't have to be like me and wait for price to go all the way up there. So if you want, right, you can secure some, right? Some people trade differently. So you don't have to wait that whole thing. Okay. Right, this developer is saying he's working on it. Yeah, I like the guy who develops my trading view indicators. That guy is so quick. He's actually the one I'm chatting with. Do you want alerts to be linked to the filters? Yes. Okay. Let's see. Stop this. It's good for today. Come on, gold. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I think after this gold trades gets into a 1:1, even right now my MT4 doesn't show on my computer. This is crazy. For those of you who've seen my desktop, I have like 20 MT4s open. I just have too many accounts. Okay, there it is.
Sidebar too, where your entry is a 1 hour bullish high.
Oh, here? Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a hourly bullish high. Yep. So you see, right, all these strategies, because if I turn off the SARs, as Levy said, we have an hourly bullish high hit there, right? We have an hourly bullish order block. So all these entries, like once you master them, whether you're using the markups, whether you're using, because if I turn on the zones here, I would want to see buyers sitting here. So the idea here is that these buyers that are sitting here would use this hourly bullish order block. So, right, price dropped to tap in those buyers exactly in here, and then price went all the way up. So that is perfect.
Yeah, I just started using those as more confluence for things. It's just to see if Makes sense.
Yeah. Also, sure if all right, let me see. I'm trying to, let me apply that. I don't want to put on the other indicator for now. The reason for it is it has my last name. That's the label for it. And I don't want my last name, even though it's probably easy for anybody to find out my last name, but I don't want to show my last name to everybody out there. Let me see, because if I put, I'm pretty sure like that rejection indicator, there's a buy signal down here. So let me do new layout and do another chart and then show you guys. What's this? This is gold. D on 15-minute time frame. Close this out. I'll go ahead and put this. Nine here. See, unless, yep, I was right. So if I share, so I'll just stop sharing here and share this other screen. Yeah, so keep it right, just keep an eye out on the other trade, but I just wanted to show you guys this one. So you see what I was talking about for this. Oh, of course, it was there for a little bit. Anyway, people know my last name. Here, this is what this buy right here, in conjunction with the what is it called? In conjunction with what I just showed you guys, that area that has the zones indicator, where you had like that bunch of buyers here. So this one would have been also an additional confluence. But anyway, at that point, we were already in that buy, or it also added as a confluence because we bought the open of this candle. But this indicator, the only issue for it, right? I don't want to see all these sells and all these buys. So it's ideally like a rejection indicator, especially with the wicks, right? Because you guys always hear me telling you guys, ask yourself what the wicks are telling you. So that's why, like on that daily time frame, if we go here on gold, on the daily time frame, right? It gives that rejection or the signal based off of the wick rejection. And this is a different, it's not an EMA, it's called a HMA, HAL moving average. So for those of you who want to go and start looking up what a HAL moving average is, so the only difference, because again, I'm still trying to come up with a strategy for this one, but it would be better to use the HAL moving average compared to the EMA for this particular trade. I'm sorry, for this particular indicator. And I'll give some reasons for that before. And you can see this indicator is also coded in a way that if price breaks below the HMA will remain red. If price breaks above, it will remain green, or it will start to be green. So the idea here is that you see this buy that showed up down here. This is what I would have wanted, because here our SAR showed up like 2 days later. But if we were using the so I'll call it like rejection. If we are using the rejection indicator in conjunction with the SARs, the rejection indicator. So for example, if we get a buy inside a green HAL moving average, so you see this zone right here, if we get it there, then it's a possible, especially on the daily time frame, it's highly likely that the reversal has started coming. So we saw that the reversal indicator gave us the buy on this big candle, and that was ideally because of the gap up for Sunday. But this one, the rejection indicator gave the buy on Friday. So that was before any news of war or anything. So this is why I want us to use this in conjunction with the daily SAR. So you can use this on the 15-minute, on the 30-minute, but since it's a rejection indicator, you can have a lot of entries. And for me, I don't trade with signals. I like having them as a confluence, but also, right, that last tweak I'm having it done is to remove so that you can select, like right now, what I plan on doing you guys see how like on the daily time frame, I have the SARs and then I have the reversal indicator set to sells only. So if I'm in a sell trend, so if my bias is bearish on gold, what I will be doing is configuring the rejection indicator to show buys only, so that if I'm riding a sell trend on gold and the rejection indicator, and keep in mind the daily time frame, right? You're not going to get as many signals as the 15 minutes. So the idea would be, if I'm riding a sell trend, if my bias is bearish for gold, for US 30, whatever, and the rejection indicator gives me a buy on the daily time frame, that's going to tell me, hey, maybe in the next 2 days or so, you're going to have a buy SAR for you to switch your bias. Again, it's still not like 100%, but upon, I told you guys yesterday, I was back to back 12 hours on the charts and everything, backtesting some of these things. I think it has a better chance of identifying a change in a trend than even the reversal indicator. But anyway, that's what I'll give you guys. And personally, I'll be using it in conjunction with the SAR. Let me share the screen again. Anyway, so let me know if you guys have any questions. So this trade's still waiting for it. I'll go ahead and turn that off in order to make the charts a bit cleaner. So let me know if you guys have any questions. So, right, just either, right, secure on the way up for me until the trade hits this. That's when I'll put break even. Like, for example, right now, fingers crossed, if price comes back all the way and hits stop loss, I'll just let it hit stop loss. Because in my mind, this is what I was willing to lose. So you also have to know what you're willing to lose and how much profit, and at what point will you take any partials, or will you take break even. Okay, so the indicator is ready. I will, after the live session is over, I will do some testing with it and pay this guy, and then I will share it with you guys. So I told you this guy is pretty fast. I wish he knew how to code EAs. My EA would already be done. But anyway, I should be able to give you guys access during the day. So he just told me that everything is ready. So after this live session, I'll just go ahead and make sure that it's working as should. And then I'll just share it with you. Please check and give me feedback. Okay, perfect.
Bro, you know the this entry, yeah. So it's a single, it's off a single SAR, like the current SAR, right? But you went right.
I never trade single SARs.
No, I'm saying, you know what we're seeing on the 15-minute on the bottom? That's a single, isn't it?
No, well, is the trade based off of the single? No, it's not based off of the single, but I see you're talking about this single right here.
Yeah, I'm saying you went right to the left, more to the left. You know,
Yeah.
you look.
Yeah, so if you go to the left, you'll see the doubles here. Here they are. One is at 1873.7, the other one is at 1872. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, so they're still valid, even though they're from previous days.
Yeah. The only difference is that right, it's just a trading view limitation. The SAR can only extend for 500 candles.
So the SARs from the previous days, you can still be are still valid because that zone is still within that zone.
Yep. Yeah. It's the same logic as an order block, right? That's how order blocks work. Order blocks do not come after the fact. Order blocks are from previous historical prices.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, in US 30, wait, give me 1 second. This is the 30-minute time frame. So those are the double SARs. Okay, so 30-minute is still pending. So currently it's the test candle that's going on. I thought there was an entry on the 15-minute. It's crazy. There's no US 30 15-minute entry. This is 6:59. This is 6:43. Okay, this is the zone. This is what I've been looking for this whole time. This is a 15-minute double SAR right there. I know they're so close together. Okay, so this is also a I'll just put one arrow. So this zone below here. So there's a 30-minute entry. There's also a 15-minute entry for US 30. So the 30-minute, so the 15-minute, the SAR is this zone that's down here, the one I just drew. But this is that example, right? So the test candle already tested that double SAR. This is the rejection candle. If this rejection candle closes all the way up here, the entry relative to your SARs, this is like 100% of your stop loss. So this is that instance that I would wait for price to retrace here and wait for a live SAR on the 1 minute and then enter it to write price back up. So there is a 15-minute SAR entry that is about to validate on this on the 15-minute time frame, but the entry is so far away from those SARs. So this is another instance. So we have a 30-minute, which is this small zone. So if I zoom in here, this zone at the top, this is the 30-minute. So if I go to the 30-minute, this is it right here. But for the 30-minute, the test candle is just about to close. On the 15-minute, the test candle already closed. So this is the 15-minute zone that's below this bigger zone. And you can see it's 6:59 to 6:43. So that is a 16 pips zone. So that falls within the threshold. For US 30, your SAR should not be more than 20 pips apart. So the 15-minute candle already validated for the test. Now, what's currently going on is the 15-minute candle for the rejection. But if the rejection candle closes where US 30 is right there, that's not a trade I want to take, because remember, the key thing, you can still take it, but remember, the key thing is always make sure your stop loss is below those SARs. Then at that point, if you choose to extend your stop loss, then you can start extending your TP as well in order to have that 1:2 risk to reward. But for me, if that trade validates up there, I'll just wait for it down here, and then I'll come to the 1 minute time frame. So I would want price to retrace down to this zone. And then when price is in this zone, I would go down to the 1 minute time frame and go to the SAR. So remember, the 1 minute, 5 minute, and daily time frames are the only time frames that I do not extend my SARs. So I would wait for price to retrace in here, go down to the 1 minute and find a live 1 minute entry of the SAR and write price back up. All right, so gold is coming back towards the entry. So still did not get to the 1:1 risk to reward. But for me, I'm still in this trade. I'm still holding it, and I'll still keep holding it. Whether it hits TP, whether it hits stop loss, that's fine. But just make sure, that's just how personally I trade, but the trade had gone up like 28 pips in profit. So if you're like me and you're still holding, that's fine. If you took profit at some point, that is fine as well. Let's see. Start marking up EU entries. A double SCR on EU 298. This is another double down here. I'll just focus on those for now. So Nah, I'm not even gonna draw this on the 15-minute. That's just a headache. All right. Any other questions? I think that will be it. I'm still gonna hold on to this trade. I can stay on for about 4 minutes, 4 more minutes, and see how that goes. But I think that will be it. I don't really see anything else to go over. All right, Ben. Last questions. All right. So if you're still going to hold this trade, 1877 point or 1877, once if the trade gets back up to 1877, go ahead and set break even. If you took profit, I would say call it a day and wait for another entry. Don't try to chase this trade again. The idea here is that, or if you chase it, not chase it, or if you re-enter it, make sure you're not losing all of the profits you've taken in the partial. So for example, you don't want to, so let's say you secured like $100 profit in this trade at some point during the move up, and you're re-entering the trade. Make sure if the trade does hit stop loss, fingers crossed it doesn't, but if the trade does hit stop loss, you're not really losing more than you could have lost in the initial trade. So just make sure you're doing proper money management. Also, if you made a significant at any point during the push up, which for me I didn't, I'm still in the trade. If you made a significant amount of money during the push up, just let it go and wait for the next entry. So keep in mind here, you can get another test and rejection entry. You can get another break and continuation entry. Also here for gold around 1867 to 66, we do have a double SAR on the 15-minute time frame as well. You can see if I zoom to the left, you'll see we do have that. Also, right, if gold wants to keep dropping, there's a bunch of buy zones all the way to 1845 and 1822. So don't get fixated upon just one entry. Yeah. And so long as you have like a 1:2, or you're not over leveraging, you should be fine. But anyway, if there's no last questions, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah. All right. See you guys. And then I will give you guys, I'll go work on that indicator and then publish it. And then for those of you who have access, I'll just send a message to the Discord and you can check your trading views. But that's it.